Good morning, everyone. It's Brenda Quintana here, and it's time for another Fun Friday project. Today's project is another hearts or love or Valentine's Day project, and so I hope you're not bored with them yet, because it's about 1 month till Valentine's Day. And love and heart projects don't just have to be for Valentine's Day. They can be for weddings, they can be for bridal showers, they can be for so many things, friendship gifts and everything like that. So have a look at this tutorial and decide how you can use it. And I love heart-shaped boxes, and I think you're going to love this one. It's especially cool because this one has no die cutting in it at all. It uses a punch pack, so there's two hearts in this punch pack, and so they create the top and the bottom for this little tiny box. And I'll show you in a second what kind of candy could fit in there, and you can kind of envision what other candy you could put in there, but it's just a cute little box. And for those of you who are familiar with me and what I do and the 3D projects and fun folds and all of that, you'll know that on Saturday I send out a project sheet, and here is this one. I've got it partially done, and I send them out on Saturdays, but you need to be part of my email list in order to get it. So if you want to join my email list, just check down below in the description of the video and you'll see a link to subscribe. And once you're subscribed on Saturday, you will get my project sheet in your inbox, and then you can use it to create the project. Now, this tutorial, I will have all the measurements and everything that you need, but the project sheet is so handy because then you don't have to copy down the measurements from my video, and you can just like have a nice little concise little thing that you can put in a binder or keep on your iPad or keep in your files section for when you need this project again. And it's just kind of a nice tidy little way to keep your tutorials organized. All right, I see a few of you have joined on this morning, and I will talk to you afterwards. And keep in mind, while I'm doing this video, if you have any questions or of anything that I'm doing, please go ahead and ask them, because I can see them in the comments and then I'll be able to answer them before I end the video. And if you're joining me and this is a recording, then just put your question in the comments and I will answer it as soon as I can. All right, so do you want to see the project? You may have already seen the little sneak peek of my little picture that I put up with my YouTube title. Let me just secure my project sheet so it doesn't flop over. So here are the cute little heart-shaped boxes, and I made these with the heart-shaped punch and the scoring board. So those are the two big tools that you'll need for this project. And then I used two stamp sets to decorate them up. And one of them is a grand kid, and I use this greeting set that says, "You are so loved," and the inspired thought stamp set where I have peace, joy, and love. And I thought I really liked that one. This is the one that turned out. I just love this one. Peace, joy, and love. You can use this at so many times of the year, right? And then these other ones, these are more Valentine's-y. But I put the little greeting on a square, so you could find, if you have a special greeting that you like to use, just as long as it fits in a little square, you can add it to the front of the box. But I like "You Are So Loved" because it doesn't have to be for Valentine's Day. And then look, this little box opens up and it is actually heart-shaped. So that is really cool, and it nests really well with my little dimensions. So I think you're gonna love making these little boxes. So let me set them aside and let's get started. Oh, one other thing. I've used this paper so much. I've got like a couple of full sheets left of this pack, and then I've got a bunch of little tidbits left over because I have so heavily used this pack. You will love this paper. It's called Sweet Talk, and it's great because you can use it for spring projects as well because it's got a neutral side. It's got a very heavily hearted side, and then it's got some neutrals on the back. So I actually, with my papers that I used kind of the neutrals side of the paper so that it's not all hearts. So you can see how much you can get use out of this paper. I know a bunch of you have ordered this paper from me, so I know you love it as much as I do. All right, I'm putting that aside. I'm bringing out my scoring board. We're gonna get serious here when I bring out my scoring board. I'm gonna just straighten this a little bit. Okay. So let's start off. We're going to start by making the sides of the box. And so for that, we're going to do the sides for the top first. So this piece measures 5 3/4 inches by 1 1/4 inches. And then we're going to put the long side right up at the top. Let me make sure I got my scoring measurements right where I can see them. Okay. We'll start off at 1 1/2, then 2 1/4, 2 3/4, 4, wait a minute, that doesn't look right. Oh, we're missing one. 3 1/4, and then 4 inches, and then 5 1/2. Let me do those for you one more time. We've got 1 1/2, 2 1/4, 2 3/4, 3 1/4, 4 at the 4-inch mark, and then at the 5 1/2 inch mark. All right, then we're going to turn this, and it doesn't really matter which way you turn it, but if you want to turn it the same way as me, I'm keeping the smallest tab down at the bottom. But it doesn't really matter, just as long as one of the short sides is up at the top, and then you're going to score at the 1-inch mark. All right, and this is all you need to do to create the sides. And then we're going to cut this up. And to help you along, on the second page, I'm going to have that little diagram that kind of shows you how to cut it up so that you're not left guessing how to do that. So we're going to start off, there's a little tiny corner square. You can see it right here, right there. So we're going to cut that away, and I just do it on a bit of an angle because that way it's going to make it easier for the whole box to come together. But that little guy goes away first. You can see that. And then I'm going to cut little triangles or V's, inverted V's, into all the score intersections just until the first score line. So you can kind of see, I'm going to do that all the way along. We're just making itty bitty tiny tabs. It just takes a little second. And one more. And then on the end right here, I'm just going to angle cut it so it matches. So they all have little tabs, and that corner square is cut away. All right, so now we need to fold this piece. And so ignore this little side tab right here. And I'm going to find this center spot because this is going to be the center part of my heart, the one that dips down in the middle, you know, right here, this part of the heart right here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold along that center line. Ignoring this tab right here, that would be the center of this piece, okay? So I'll fold that first. And that one gets folded that way. And then we're going to fold the other ones back away from it, okay? Fold away. So we've kind of created a mountain fold in the center. And then we're going to fold down and down. Basically, we're folding this into what will make this look like a heart. Let's have a look. So, and then this little tab gets folded in. So this kind of looks a little bit like a heart. So that's the way you need to fold it. If you can't follow my instructions, just fold it into kind of a little heart. And then if you want to, it's easier to fold these side tabs or these bottom tabs down while everything is flat. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And they all fold in one direction and they fold inwards. Okay. So we've got the heart shape, and now we've got these little guys folded down. They look like that. So the next thing I want to do is I want to connect this end piece together. So the two ends of the long strip, we'll connect those together first. So I like to use Tombow because Tombow is going to hold this box together the longest, and Tombow is inexpensive and it goes a long way. All right, so I'm just lining these up. Take a moment to make sure you've got a nice alignment. Always make sure it's like right along the score line and nothing's, you know, is hanging off. And then just hold it for a few seconds. You want to make sure that's a good joint. All right. Okay, so I've got my little sides of my heart ready to go. And then I'm going to take another piece of basic white, and I'm going to, this is the heart punch pack. I don't think I talked about that yet. Heart punch pack, very important to this tutorial. When you buy this, you get both of these hearts. One is a scallop one and one is a smooth one. We're going to use the scallop one for the top and the bottom of the box. It's so pretty, so easy. Just open it up on the bottom, and we're going to punch two. We're going to reserve one of them for later. So I'm going to set one of these aside. And I made this box out of just regular basic white, so not the thick one. And the reason I did this is it's a small box, so it's easier to maneuver everything because this is a lighter weight cardstock. So this box could also be made out of designer series paper. So if you want to do that, you can definitely do that. But I'm making it out of a lighter weight paper than normal. Okay, so I've got my little heart, and now I've got my sides of my box. And so I'm going to carefully add just a little bit of Tombow to all the little tabs. Okay, whoops. See, I've got a little bit of Tombow. So now here's probably the hardest part of this box. It's not really hard, but it's just going to take a little bit of maneuvering. So I start at the bottom with the tip, and then I'm just going to kind of mold the heart to kind of fit. I'm going to move it so I can be a little bit more over top. I'm standing so I can see down onto the box, and I'm just kind of shaping it however I want to do this. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be any particular way. You just want it to have a heart shape, and you want to have it so that it's kind of centered on here. So then just kind of press down once it looks symmetrical. You've kind of got the sides are all kind of looking the same. And then you just press down, make sure you've got good adhesion. And your box bottom will match your box top. So even if yours is a little different than mine, just as long as you've got kind of a basic heart shape, you're going to be able to match up the other piece perfectly. And I'll show you how to do that in just a moment. So that's all there is to the box bottom. And the box top is done very similarly, except for one thing, and I'm going to show you that in a moment. So let's create the box top now. So this time we're going to take another strip of basic white, and this piece measures 6 inches by 1 1/4 inches. So it's a little longer than that first strip that we had. This time we're going to score. Bring over my measurements here. We're going to score at 1 1/2, 2 3/8, 2 7/8, 3 3/8, 4 1/4, and 5 3/4. Let's do that one more time. 1 1/2, 2 3/8, 2 7/8, 3 3/8, 4 1/4, and 5 3/4. Then I'm going to turn it so that my small tab is down at the bottom, but again, it doesn't really matter because you can flip the piece over to either side, and it just truly doesn't matter. But put one of the short sides up at the top and score at the 1 inch mark. Okay, that is all the scoring we need to do. So we're going to cut this strip up just like we did the first strip. So cut away that corner square, and then we're going to cut up little V's or little triangles at all the score intersections. And I just make them narrow. They don't have to be exactly the same. It's just that you want these little tabs in there so that when you fold the whole piece together, it comes together more easily. And then just angle cut the end one. All right. So we're going to fold this the same way again. Find that center piece. We're going to fold along there. And then we're going to fold in the opposite direction because we want to create that little mountain, or the two mountains in the valley fold, and then bring these down. We're just creating the shape of a heart. So when it comes together here like this, it kind of looks like a heart. And then while this is still flat, I'm going to do all the tabs like we did before. Just fold them down like that. Just always bringing it back into the heart shape. Okay, and then we'll bring this little end piece. We want to connect that heart up. So let's do that little end tab with a little bit of Tombow and bring it together. So right now we have celebration going on, and so we have some great products that you can get with every $50 and $100 that you spend. I think there's about 9 products that you can choose from. So it's kind of a fun time to place an order. So let's say if you got the heart punch pack, the paper, and maybe some embellishments, then you could earn a free $50 item. So that's kind of cool. All right, so we've got our little heart shape right there. So sweet. Okay, let's bring in this heart that we created before. And now here's the most important thing that you need to remember for this tutorial. This bottom is going to match this top. So you can't always have mix and match bottoms. So if you're making a bunch of these, you're going to want to make them so that one bottom matches one top. And you're always going to want to make them together in a set so that they match up properly. So depending on how you shaped this bottom one, that's going to dictate how this top one is going to fit, because you're going to place this framework over top. It's just going to take a second. You're going to place it over top of here. So now this is going to fit according to how you shaped the bottom. So then we're going to take Tombow, and we're going to put Tombow on all of these little tabs. Like that. All right. And then one thing, I'm going to put this heart on top. And the one thing I'm going to have to work on here is this little point right here. While I'm gluing this heart on top, I'm going to be pressing my finger down in here, because if I don't, this might not follow the nice little valley fold right there. So if I kind of let it go, it might push out a little bit. So I'm just going to keep, as I'm pressing down on this heart, I'm going to keep that piece tucked in with one of my fingers. So I'm just going to place this over top, and I'm going to kind of maybe stand up, make sure it's kind of looking centered on the top, make sure that's pressed in right there, and just kind of press down on here. And you can kind of flip it and look. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Okay. And then just press on there and make sure it's adhered really well. And now we've got our little box. I'm not going to pull it out all the way yet because I don't want to mess anything sliding around. But this should work in just a second. It should be all adhered together. Okay, so there's the little box. That's all there is to it. Now to decorate it up, this is the brilliant thing about designer paper, because it's like so quick and easy. I'm going to take my smooth heart now, and I'm going to kind of bring this in and give it a little punch. And I think I'm going to make another Peace, Joy, Love heart, because I think they are just so cute. So I'll just add that to the top. Or look at this paper. That also looks really cute, right? I don't think you can really go wrong choosing a pattern with this paper. And then you just add that onto there. Make sure it's centered. Okay. And then I'm going to do the Peace, Joy, Love heart. So I'll just take some gorgeous grape ink and just ink this up. And this little square right here is a 1-inch square. So 1 inch by 1 inch. And I'm just going to stamp my greeting on the center. If I was doing the You're So Loved one, I just use a slightly bigger square because it won't quite fit on a 1-inch square. So let me just show you this one. This is on a 1 1/8 inch square. So 1 1/8 inches on both sides. And so if you wanted to do You Are So Loved, you just go up a little bit bigger. So 1 inch and 1 1/8 inch. So you can do either one or find your own greeting that speaks to you. And then just the Peace, Joy, Love. Everyone has kind of like their own comfort zone with the word love. Do you find that? Some people use it very liberally, and some people are very guarded with that word. So it just kind of depends where you fall on that spectrum and what your friends and family and people around you feel, right? Okay, so finally for this particular one, I'm going to use some iridescent rhinestone basic jewels. Another cool thing, if you spend $50 with me this month, you're going to get a package of these beautiful jewels the following month. I'm going to send these out in February. So probably not in time for Valentine's Day, but these are so awesome that you could pick up a package now, and then you'll get an extra package from me in February. Okay, so I'm just going to pick up a couple of these jewels and add them on here because they're just so pretty. They just want to be on here. There's 3 different sizes, and they're almost like opals, but they're not smooth like an opal. They're kind of got the faceted look. So they're just going to be really sparkly, kind of like, well, they're opally, they're iridescent. Just really fun. And I think they go nice with my Peace, Joy, Love themed box. And so they can look so different depending on which way you do the stripes. And then here are the You Are So Loved boxes. And I think this is the one I made right here. And you can see it opens like really easily and closes up nicely too. So what do I want to put in here? A couple of things. You saw I used the Hershey's Hearts. I think it was last week. I made a little window box. Well, guess what? These fit in really nicely. They kind of follow the shape of the heart inside there. And look, 2 of them fit in here perfectly. Look, isn't that awesome? Perfect little a heart-shaped box with 2 heart-shaped candies in there. Very nice, right? And then if you want a more common candy that you can probably get everywhere, you can add 3 Hershey's Kisses will fit in here nicely. So we can just add those in there like that. So you've got 2 different options. Kisses or Hershey's Hearts, or I bet you some other things will fit in here as well. I'm not sure because I only did these 2, but experiment and see what fits in there. And I think they just look super, super cute. What do you think? Do you like them? I hope so. Let me come back over to you guys. Here I am. If you liked this tutorial and you're not already a YouTube subscriber of mine, please make sure you subscribe and then click on the bell so you can receive notifications of when I go live and when I have a new tutorial up, so you won't miss out. Let me see, what have I talked about? Oh, all the supplies are available on my blog, and let me pop up my January host code. There's my host code if you want to take advantage of those awesome little jewels. I also have, if you don't want to spend $50, if you just spend $15, you can get one of my free with purchase tutorials. And this month I have these cute little candy envelope tutorials. They're like a 3D envelope. You can't mail them, but they have got, I don't know, it's probably about 1/2 inch, and they open up. Here's one that you can see a little bit better because it's made out of cardstock. It opens up like an envelope, and you can put candy inside of here. And then I created these little labels that also get sent with the tutorial that have like a little line for you to put the person's name on it. So you could use these for co-workers or for schools, and you can write directly who you want to receive this little envelope, leave it on someone's desk. It's just really cute. So that is my new tutorial for the month, but you don't have to choose that one. I have over 80 tutorials for you to choose from, but this one's my new one for this month, and it's Valentine's themed if you're looking for that. So all the supplies that I've talked about today, they're either down below in my description of this video, or click over to my blog where you're going to see photos of my projects. You're going to see photos of the supplies, so you'll know exactly what you're clicking on, and that's probably the easier way to do it. All right, I think I've talked about everything I need to talk about. Now I get to talk to you guys. Yay! All right, good morning, Ellie. I'm glad you're here. Good morning, Janine. Hey, Janine. Janine is one of my team members. I was thinking of you when I did the Peace, Joy, Love, Heart. I thought, I know Janine's going to love this one because she's all about the peace, joy, and love. Good morning, Pat. Good morning, Birgit. Good morning, Vera Blue from Tennessee. Thank you, Birgit. I'm so glad you think the boxes are cute. Oh, and Pat really loves the gems. Aren't they so awesome? I love them. I've been using them on everything because they're like our rhinestones, except they're like sparklier. They're like unicorn gems or something like that. Oh, Ellie says there's a big storm coming. Yes, so don't I know it? And it's going to be freezing cold tomorrow. I'm already cold just even thinking about it. I hope you make a few boxes, Ellie. I hope that will inspire you to make some boxes. Good morning, Irene. I'm glad you like the box. Oh, I'm so glad you like the box, Fair Blue. Okay, Brigitte asked me what stamp set I used. So let me just, so I used for the peace, joy, love, I used inspired thoughts. And for the you are so loved, I used a grand kid. So the two different stamp sets, but I figured that probably people would gravitate to one or the other. So I wish I could have found two greetings in the one stamp set, but I looked through my greetings and I wanted to see some other greetings that, I might not normally use. And I also wanted a greeting that was kind of like more, that would fit a heart. So I just kind of looked through my collection and those two just kind of really spoke to me. Good morning, Dee. I'm so glad you joined, even though you're late. You can go back and watch the replay. It's not a hard box, but there's definitely a couple of steps that you'll want to follow that makes it easier to create the box, like joining the end of the sides first and fitting things over top. So once you watch the video and you have my project sheet, I think you'll have no problem making these little boxes. Janina, yeah, you liked my little peace, joy, and love stamp that I used. I thought of you just exactly while I was making it because I thought I know she's gonna love the little piece on there. I don't know. Do you have that stamp set? I think that's a really it's a really good one. I just picked it up recently. And good morning, Pat, and I'm so glad you're here. All right, everyone. I hope you're not going to be get that cold blast of air that we're getting here in Boston this weekend. It's going to be a chilly one. So luckily my fridge is stocked, and so as long as I have power, we will do absolutely fine. We've got our treadmill, so we'll probably walk on the walk inside tomorrow morning because we don't want to freeze, but we should be hardier. We're Canadians, so we could definitely try and walk, but sometimes it's just so cold that it's not really fun because I like to talk and walk, and when it's so cold you almost don't even want to talk because your face feels frozen. Oh. All right. Well, I hope you have a great weekend. Thank you so much for watching. And please let me know if you have any questions. I'd be happy to answer them. Have a great weekend, guys. Bye-bye.